Here we are again. Look at all this gear. 24 volt 9-inch power beam, blazer handle, roof console. We're going to show you guys how easy this kit is to install. Let's get into it. Harry's getting ready to mount the MIDI fuse, which you'll see shortly, and we're going to run the wire through this rubber boot. Where's that torch, Hazza? Torch here. Dan's going to mount the pole on the roof. So we're going to measure 280mm from the front of the seal to the front of the douche plug bracing plate. And we're going to do the pilot hole. And then I'm going to pull the roof lining out and put a 250mm square brace in the roof. And I'll show you get the roof out. So we're going to put a MIDI fuse in here. These are you can see Toyota put a MIDI fuse mount, so that's the only way to go. And when you pull the cover off, you'll find this little rectangle here, and there's actually room for another MIDI fuse to go in there. So you can just put a couple of bolts underneath, and then that's going to be the fuse for the system. Easier again. But Dan baptising the big rig of the first hole. We leave the carpet in, guys, first, because we've got to drill an 83mm hole out so the blazer handle sits flush against the roof, because when you put them against the carpet they can buckle and then the handle won't operate as good, and it affects the operation and the weatherproofness. So now Dan's just going to hold the console up and line the pilot hole up with the pilot hole we done, and make sure that it fits the console, the roof properly, matches the roof. If you already have an existing hole, it can be slid back further, that's fine. But if you're fitting it, we've worked out the right spot to have it so you don't get a sore arm. And then this little kick just goes around the carpet at the back perfectly. There you have it, guys. 280mm. Guys, so once you've done that, you can do your pilot hole for your cable gland and drill the carpet out 83mm at the front and 50mm at the back where the cable gland is. Let's hook in. This is a really big step into getting all this working properly, guys, is getting the carpet out and getting that handle flush up against the metal roof. Really helps with sealing it and the operation of the handle, because as the handle warps, it can affect how the friction nut sits in the housing of it, especially on the blazer, because it's plastic housing. And just going slowly but surely in reverse. And the hole saw does do a really neat job. There we go. You can even put the hole saw in forwards if you want, guys. Just go gently so it doesn't mark the roof. There you go. Some fun here. So Dan's just ever so gently using the douche plug bracing plate as a guide to do the holes. We're going to go 5.5mm and use our 5mm stainless steel bolts that you'll get in the kit with the dome head nuts. When we get this bit done, guys, we're doing a couple of extras on this vehicle. We might as well show you where we're going. So we're going solenoid quick releases for the hounds, and we're putting some work lights up here. This is all going to incorporate into the roof console system. So Hazza's put an extra relay in there now for the work lights, so there's no loading our switches. And we're putting these two buttons in there to release the dog. So you can let the dog off in the cab, or you can push a button on them to let the dog off. These are a good looking unit, guys. The customer got these, Any Hunt. We just found them on Facebook and Instagram as well. So we've got the holes done for the handle and the hole done for the cable gland, and then we drilled the carpet out 40mm so you can get around, get a hold of the nut on the inside. Now you can pull the roof lining out, so we can glue the 250mm square bracing plate in. It's going to go on the inside. The roof on the dual cab sags over a long distance, so we've got to get bracing in there. Yo, little hack, make it easy for you guys. Under your handles, drop them forward. In the middle, pull your rubber, drop your rubber down, pull your bits and pieces off here under this plastic clip. This is where the wires are going to run. And then when you want to get the roof liner out to put our brace in, guys, you pull this down and there's a couple of little clips hidden under there. And once you get them clips undone, the roof liner comes out. Too easy. Got the roof lining out. I just got to unclip these two centre bits, guys. There's a little pin that clips it in there too. And you just slide him back. Righto, so we're now going to clean the silicone off there so it's all nice and tidy. Then we're going to heat the heat shrink up around these wires as we poke it through the cable gland. This just gives it a extra professional finish. It helps the cable gland seal up because it's more of a round cylinder. You don't have as many gaps in between the wires. And Dan's just here getting ready to hook all these wires up to the roof console. And we're going to test everything before we bolt everything in and make sure everything works. Rightio guys, so we've got everything hooked up and we've tested everything before we bolt it all together. So this is everything for the whole system, guys, and this is where the value is in this console. Could you imagine running all that behind the dash and putting all the switches in and trying to get it all wired up properly? And then if there's a problem, how you ever work out where the wiring problem is, I don't know. So this is the beauty of this setup. It's all in the one spot, out of the heat and the moisture of the bonnet. So we've got this sorted. Now we're going to bolt all the handle and the console in. And then we're going to put two nutserts in the back and mount the console. And then we're pretty well home and hosed. So this is going to have a 24 volt converter, big relay to run it, MIDI fuse to run the 24 volt system, isolation switch, so when you turn the isolator off it shuts the whole thing down, so there's no power running through any wires anywhere. It's just the only power, wire of powering it is the power coming from the battery. We've got our MIDI fuse mounted, we've got power going to it. All perfectly uniform, ready to go. Okay guys, so we're going to do a bead of silicone blazer handle style. We're going to do a bead of silicone on the around the inside of that, so when it pushes up against the plates, sealed. And we're going to go bead of silicone around here, sit the rubber seal on, another bead of silicone, make sure it fills the holes in, bracing plate goes on, dual cab cruiser. Don't quote me guys, I'm pretty sure it'll be 30mm long bolts with the bracing plate, so 30mm, the bolts at the head, the threads stick up out the top. We go a washer and a dome head nut. Rightio, so we just set the console up there, got a pen and marked the gap in these grooves. I'm going to whack two nutserts up in here, so we're going to go 8mm hole for the nutsert, don't spear it into the roof, it's just going through the cross member. So we're going to go a pilot hole, 6mm hole, and then use a 6mm hole to guide the hole saw. Drill the carpet out so we can get the nutsert in there nice and flush against the metal. Let's get into it. Rightio guys, we've got the bolts done up. Got the bolts done up the front, done at the back. Just had to move that relay out of the road with that bolt from the side. It's all solid as a rock. Now with the blazer handles, the biggest thing is you've got to do, guys, you've got to fill up around the housing with silicone, otherwise water can sit down in that gutter and it'll rust your car out. So that's a crucial thing with the blazer handle. So we've got all that done. We're going to finish it all off now. And it is looking bloody good. So we've got the buttons for the dog clips, works lights on the back, and everything for the whole system's in there. There you go guys, dual cab Landcruiser. Guy set up. We've got a blazer handle, quick release mount, 9-inch power beam. Ready to rock and roll. Light unclips, thermal unclips, fully weatherproof, fully balanced. Give her a tap down.
Balanced all right.
She wants to stay upright. We got hooked up to dog clips on the back and work lights on the back. Turn the work lights on, Dan, hit the dog clips. Ready for hunting. Congratulations to Jace on his big setup.